Okay, so here it is, September 12th, first day of harvest for 2020. A little bit smoky, a little bit gray. All right, so we're on our way now to pick up our first fruit and juice for this year's harvest. It's gonna be a great year. Today, we are getting the first grapes from the 2020 harvest. And what we're doing is we're having the grapes processed, so we're having them destemmed and pressed so that we're getting juice, and we're pumping the juice into the barrels. We'll be then adding yeast into the barrels, so that we're going to be doing in-barrel fermentation for the Chardonnay as well as a Rosé. And we just got notification that our Rosé has just finished being pressed, so we're going to go and pick up that tank right now. We're standing at the Bodega Aguirre winery, and what we're doing is we're picking up our Rosé. The grapes were picked a little earlier today. They went through a destemmer and crusher and a press, and we're now getting the juice loaded into one of our tanks, and we'll be taking it back to the winery for processing. The Rosé was left in contact with the skins for approximately 1 hour, so it's a light color, nice and pink. The fruit is right around 23.6 bricks, so and really good acids. Hoping that we have a very clean, crisp rosé.
It's up to you guys to bring it to
we'll
life.
Take it from here. But the good news is you gave us a great start. So
yeah,
that's all I could ask for.
It's a good start.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, you have a good one. Okay, let's hit the road.
Whoa! Whoa!
Alright, so how does this work? What are you guys doing right now?
Trying not to lose that into the tank.
That would be bad.
You try not to what?
Lose that into the tank. That would be bad. So we just picked up our pressed juice for our rosé. It's Zinfandel from Bodega Aguirre. We decided that we want to do rosé this year. We were limited on space and what we could produce this year. We were already committed to do his Zinfandel along with another Zin, so we decided to do his as a rosé. And part of my thinking on doing that was I really liked how bright fruit his Zin was. It wasn't a big heavy Zin, so we thought it would make a really good rosé. It just had really, really nice flavors to start with. So part of the thing about barrel fermenting is that it imparts great flavor. It's usually not done with a rosé, but we're challenged with equipment and space here. So barrel fermenting is a great option. The wood absorbs some of the heat from the fermenting, so it kind of keeps the freshness of the wine. But with barrel fermenting, you can't fill the barrels too full, because if you fill the barrels too full, all of the yeast during its fermentation process bubbles out and over and makes a big mess. So we fill the barrels about half full. What are you doing? Contemplating life? Yoga? So now that we have the juice here and we're getting it into the barrels, we pull a sample and we basically take it to have what I call having numbers run on it. We take it to a local lab who does this all throughout harvest and actually does it all through the whole process that we do. We get the pH, the bricks or the sugar, and the total acidity. From those numbers, we then know what we need to do to adjust the wine to balance it out, how to adjust the pH up or down, how to adjust the acid so that when we're done we have a balanced wine. And it also allows us to know that potentially what the alcohol is going to be on this wine, and if there are any things that we need to do to keep it from becoming too high or too low in alcohol. We could blend in some other wine with it. So we're just getting ready to take the samples and put them in a container and take them to the lab tonight on the way home. So one of the favorite things to do during harvest is to actually taste the juice that you're using to make wine with. It gives you an idea of the quality of the fruit, the flavors, what the potential is going to be in the wine. It allows you to make some decisions up front. Are you going to add oak chips into the fermentation? Are you going to change the yeast that you're going to use because of certain characters or flavors that you're tasting? So this is our first opportunity to taste a sample of all the wine or all the juice together. Tasty. Okay, so once we have finished filling the barrels for our barrel fermenting, we do that for our Chardonnay and our Rosé. We bring them in here to our storage room, which is a nice 53 to 56 degrees temperature. What it does is it allows the juice and everything to cool down, kind of settle out, and then it'll stay here for 24 hours, and then we will add yeast tomorrow morning. Which will then start the fermentation and start the process of turning this juice into wine. And these are really kind of cool bungs that we use on this. If we put a normal bung on this barrel, the carbon dioxide generated from fermentation would basically build up pressure, and the pressure would be greater inside the barrel than outside in this room. So the bungs go flying out or flying off. This one has a bung just like we normally use, but this one has holes in it and a flap on top. So as the pressure builds up, the carbon dioxide has a way to escape. It keeps air from getting back in because carbon dioxide is pushing out, and once the pressure decreases enough, then the flap seals back and the barrel then fills up with carbon dioxide again. So basically it's protecting your wines from air, and if you have air, too much air during fermentation, you can potentially turn it into grape vinegar, which is not the intent of a winery. Hey, well, thank you guys for checking out our first day of harvest for the 2020 vintages. We have a month or more of this going to be taking place. So we hope to have a lot more videos showing the winemaking process, explaining what we do and why we do, to help you better understand the wines that we're making and what we are trying to achieve here. So we'll see you guys next time. Happy harvest.